The French President Emmanuel Macron used his visit to Chengdu in China to deliver a firm message on the ongoing war in Ukraine, stressing the need for continued military support and economic pressure on Russia. Speaking on December 5, 2025, Macron outlined France's position while also urging unity among Western partners as the conflict enters another difficult phase. During the trip, Macron reiterated that conditions are not yet in place for Russia to engage in credible negotiations. In a recorded statement, he emphasized that pressure from supporting nations must continue. He said, in his words, "We are not in a situation that brings Russia back to the table, which is why we believe that we must maintain the war effort, continue the talks that prepare for peace, but increase the pressure, in particular on the Russian economy, to lead the latter to return to the negotiating table." The French president framed the current moment as one requiring sustained commitment from all partners assisting Ukraine. According to Macron, military aid, diplomatic coordination, and economic tools must work together to push Moscow towards serious engagement in peace discussions. From the outset of the conflict, France has positioned itself among the countries advocating both for long-term support to Ukraine and for the development of diplomatic pathways that could eventually lead to negotiations. Macron's remarks in China reflect his government's assessment that neither side currently views the battlefield or diplomatic landscape as conducive to immediate talks. The president also addressed concerns over divisions between European nations and between Europe and the United States, insisting that unity among partners remains essential for any durable outcome. He warned against narratives that suggest differing strategic priorities between Washington and European capitals, stressing instead the importance of coordinated action. "We must not give in to any spirit of division between Europeans and between Americans. We need the United States of America to have peace. The United States of America needs us for this peace to be robust and lasting." And so, there is no plan in which lasting peace in Ukraine can be achieved without joint work by Europeans, Americans, Canadians, Australians, Japanese, all those around this table and in this coalition of the willing. The message underscored France's assertion that a broad coalition comprising NATO members and other international partners remains indispensable to Ukraine's defense and to future diplomatic efforts. Macron pointed to what he described as a coalition of the willing, indicating that cooperation extends beyond traditional Western alliances and includes partners in the Indo-Pacific region. Macron's comments in Chengdu came as European nations continue to debate long-term military financing mechanisms, including ammunition production and defense industry scaling, meant to sustain Ukraine's resistance. Several European leaders have in recent months expressed concerns about the durability of Western support, particularly amid political transitions in various capitals and shifting public pressure related to economic costs. France has advocated maintaining pressure through targeted sanctions, export controls, and restrictions intended to limit the resilience of the Russian economy. Macron's remarks indicate that Paris sees economic leverage as an essential element of the broader strategy. The setting for these comments, Chengdu, in China's Sichuan province, added additional context to the diplomatic message. Paris and Beijing maintain regular dialogue on global security issues, though China's position on the Ukraine conflict has often diverged from that of Western partners. Macron's visit included efforts to continue engagement with Chinese leadership while reaffirming France's stance on the Russia-Ukraine conflict. In recent months, Western officials have voiced concerns about the level of support Russia continues to receive from trade relationships that help offset the impact of sanctions. Macron's emphasis on tightening economic pressure reflects these broader discussions within the European Union and the United States. The French president also highlighted that preparing conditions for peace requires sustained diplomatic work, even while the conflict continues on the ground. According to Macron, ongoing discussions among allies aim to position Ukraine more favorably for future negotiations should they become viable. Throughout the statement, Macron stressed that peace will require coordinated efforts from a range of international actors. He reiterated that the United States, Europe, Canada, Australia, Japan, and other partners all play significant roles in supporting Ukraine and shaping potential pathways toward a resolution. The comments also serve as a reminder of the complexity of the conflict, in which military, economic, and geopolitical dimensions intersect. Macron's message emphasized that achieving long-term stability will depend on maintaining unity, sustaining material support for Kyiv, and applying sufficient economic pressure on Moscow. As the Russia-Ukraine war nears the 3-year mark, European governments continue to assess both immediate operational needs and long-term strategic implications. Macron's remarks reflect growing recognition that the conflict is likely to remain prolonged, requiring durable commitments from Ukraine's supporters. In China, the French president used the opportunity not only to signal France's continued stance, but also to communicate the necessity of unified Western engagement to international observers. His message reinforced that divisions among allies would risk undermining efforts to pressure Russia back into negotiations. Macron's call for increased pressure on the Russian economy aligns with ongoing discussions within the European Union about strengthening sanctions enforcement, reducing circumvention, and restricting access to technologies with potential military applications. His insistence on maintaining the war effort echoes recent statements by European defense ministers who warn that Ukraine faces continued challenges on multiple fronts, requiring a consistent flow of military supplies, equipment, and training. The situation on the ground in Ukraine remains tense, with frontline fighting continuing and diplomatic efforts showing limited movement. Macron's remarks suggest that Paris views the conflict as entering a phase where sustained external pressure is necessary to shape the conditions for future negotiations. By outlining the need for continued unity between Europeans, Americans, and broader partners, Macron also highlighted the international dimension of the conflict and the shared interests he believes are at stake. The French president's statement in Chengdu contributes to the broader diplomatic discourse among Ukraine's supporters, reinforcing the message that military, economic, and political measures must remain aligned to influence Russia's calculations. Macron's call for unity and pressure signals France's view that the international coalition supporting Ukraine must avoid fragmentation and maintain its coordinated approach. In China, his remarks served as a clear articulation of France's policy, maintaining the war effort in support of Ukraine, preparing diplomatic groundwork for future talks, and increasing economic pressure on Russia to encourage meaningful engagement at the negotiating table. As European and global partners continue to evaluate the situation, Macron's comments reiterate France's belief that only sustained and unified international action can shape the conditions for eventual peace. The situation remains defined by ongoing conflict, continued international support for Ukraine, and efforts to increase pressure on Russia amid stalled prospects for negotiation. The French president's remarks in Chengdu underscore the broader reality facing Ukraine's international supporters. The conflict remains active, the diplomatic environment remains limited, and sustained unity among partners is viewed as essential. As calls for increased pressure on Russia continue alongside ongoing military assistance to Kyiv, the situation remains defined by active hostilities, constrained negotiation prospects, and coordinated efforts among allied nations to shape the conditions for any future talks.